So I search for an audience and then I come on 15 minutes late. So that's okay. For those who don't get to see the beginning, sorry for being 15 minutes late. But lately I've been talking about, I've been hearing something to do with boost, ending in ST, beginning in ST, ending in ST. But when you look at ST together, do you not see where it's an R letter? The Mayans artwork is like that. It also looks like 2008. So I'm not really sure what it's looking like. Look like that. 2013. The B is 13, right? So it could be 1300, 1366. I'm not really sure what it's talking about directly through numbers, but through what I look at is 13 becomes man. That is moon. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is ACDC. Secondly, ST meaning first and last. That's when you use those letters. It is also 39, goes with angel. ABCD, which equals to the word 10, or ET, and 10 is the division of a point. The booster shot, the 62% of something. I don't know what it's going to mean, but this boost or booster fits perfectly into the word analogy I was working on, which is, I can't believe it's here. STSTE. Hold on a second. Boy, oh boy, I can't believe it. Seems like my pages seem to disappear on me. I was looking for the East. You know, they say the Eastern Star of Bethlehem. And I was talking in my last video about the king, and the king creates a star because of its possibilities of movement. And if the king was in a corner, okay, it can move to the 45, it can move to the 90, it can move to the 135, and it can move to the 180. If it was stuck in a corner, it would have 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, straight up, 90. You call that 90, then 45, and in between 45, it's this way, 45 to the left or 45 to the right, or we can go 90 up or 180 to the right. Is that what it is? Is that the way it works? Unless you're on the other corner. The other thing we always have to remember is that if the king is in red, the queen is in black, and then the opposite for the other side of the chessboard. Just have to remember all these things that go on. This is a 12 by 12 board. East and west, I said something to do, yes, because of STE, east and west, STE. So why do I call Bethlehem the Star of Bethlehem? The ham is meaning radio, TH, time, heaven, and this seems to happen to be the cycle of the moon. 3 by 7 equals to 21, then the cycle of the moon 7. The chicken lays an egg on the 21st day, although it lays eggs, the eggs we eat, right? The eggs we eat, and the other eggs are 6 days of laying eggs to 1 day of not laying eggs, to 6 days of laying eggs to 1 day of not laying eggs. This is the gateway cycle, God's rest, if you want to look at it that way. And I'm always going, so the king, when it's in the center, once the king moves over 1 notch, okay, from where his position originally is, the king can go 8 ways, and that is the octagon star. And my son had mentioned to me something else, and I just want to show you something about the octagon star. That when you, oh, hold on a second. The illusions that we tend to see sometimes, and the octagon star right there. The inside has no lines, right? Once you start out from outside the lines, and if you can see, it's tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe, and you can create that whole design without removing, if I remember properly, without removing your pencil. I think it's, and if you notice, they're all interconnecting delta angles to create that. So there's a empty nest with the 8 points going across and all the eyes crossing. You see the eyes crossing. They're also going to formate pyramids, and this up here. See, everything is together. So you're seeing everything together, but there's a whole, you have to separate some of the lines to create the alternate vision, because this is just all the lines together. Okay, I'm going to, so this is the king. This is king 8, because it can move in 8 directions as it stands on one. As it stands on one. Okay, now the queen, okay, the queen is 4. I'm going to use 4 standing over here, being in the center, meaning the queen can go here, 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 and here, any one of these. But the queen standing here can go in a total of how many spaces? Well, let's move the queen 1 step forward. So if the queen's 1 step forward, okay, it'll be able to move 1 and 1, 1 and 1 backward. And it'll be able to move 6 forward. Right? It stands here. Here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it can move 6 forward. Okay? 1 back, 6 forward. 1 back, 6 forward, or 6 forward and 1 back. Now, if I did that, okay, if I did that, see, if I did that, now this is not the real chessboard. It has to end over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it would have to end over here. So the queen, in order to move 6, the queen would have to be in the corner here, right? Or over here. The queen would have to be over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See where she would end up? She would not end up on this side. She would remain on the same side. And you have to have that obligation, because if I don't have that obligation, okay, and I put the queen over here, I only go 1 back, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the only position she can be is here. Now, if the queen is sitting over here, she's only got 2 ways to go. But if the king is sitting over here, the original is 2, right? If the king is sitting here, the king can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's mark this down, right? We're sitting on the chessboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where this is all what has to happen, what is in the game. It's the law, the rules, and that's what it is. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I put the queen over here where she is, she can go 1, 2. That's all she can do. So if I put the king over here, the king can go here 1, here 1, here 1, here 1, here 1. So the king has 5 directions to start. King has 5 directions to start. Actually, when the man moves forward, the king will have the king actually gets 3 to start. Because once the pawn, oh my God, both of these men have to move out of the way, right? We have a whole section here and we have a whole section of pawns. I have to check out the game of chess to see what has to move in order to start the game. Is that right? All pawns, and then here's the rest of the faculty. So you move the pawn 2 forward, right? So your pawn has to move first. So the pawn moves 2, so the king has a space for 1, 1, and 1. But once the king moves into this, well, it's over here, but it's all messed up. So the king moves over here. And once the king moves 1 forward, the king now gets 8 to move. Now with the queen, once the queen moves forward, she gets 4 to move. So the queen is 2 and 4. And the king, okay, is 3, 5, then 8. But when the queen can move, you see, the thing with the queen is she has to move 2 pawns. 2 pawns must move for the queen to move. Is that right? Hold on a second. No, just 1. No, if you move 1 pawn, she can go 1 way. If you move 2 pawns, she can go another way, but once this pawn is moved forward over here, this queen can go 1, 2, 3. The queen can take 3 steps. Is that what it is? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that where the queen is? Do you understand what I'm trying to get with this? Because I'm not a fluid in the game of chess. I can't create the situations. So we're going to leave this fall right now. I'm going to leave this fall right now. I already worked on this. Oh, Israel. We all know that. The greatest distance, 19. We're all working with number 1 right now, okay? The greatest distance is 19. The greatest distance here is 28. The cycle of man, the greatest distance is 37, creation of the gateway. So in 19, you get the letter S. The greatest number is 9. You get the letter I. This is the beginning of the other side of the board. This is the end. This is the beginning. This and this are just about the same. 19th letter, 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So now you have O, Israel. Where does RA come from? 369 equals 18R. R is the sound. 12, L is the sound. O, Israel. 4 on the cross, 258. 4, 5, 6 added, 15 and 15. So that's that. We're going to leave that one alone. Now we're going to go into the, we're going to leave this one alone. I don't want to do this one again. I want to get to the O Canada. And the video is going to be short. And I don't like that we're getting a very poor focus. Wow, this focus is terrible. Okay. Okay, now let me do what I started. The O comes from number 53 or number 35. Number 35 comes from the word for Quebec. And if you take a look at the letter combinations in Quebec, right, you have Q Bos. So in the Quebec, you have the Bos. And it's just so funny that these 2 letters, means beautiful creation. Q made the beautiful creation of Earth, B and E coming together. It actually says the head and the tail in Quebec. So Quebec has that complete reverse inside of 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 4. That is our Canada, 354, electric company and waterworks. Ontario, as you can see, comes in, starts off as pi. Then it brings the rat, which is the stars of Saturn, because Saturn is the word with the rat, and it's the angel rat 10. That's what this says. The 14 is the pi, sun DNA birth, because that's how pi starts. Starts with 15 and 14. The student and the birth. 1 times 5, 1 plus 5. This is Mars right over here. This is the DNA, the creation of the sun. When you add 1 through 13 over here, it equals to 14. Sorry, 1 plus 13 is 14, and 1 through 13 is 91, the spirit of the sun. 5 and 1, relevant through Mars. This will create a 10. You must recreate a 7 from this, and that would be Great Britain and the moon. I was working on the word Black Lives Matter, and then I came into live, and live is evil, and the total count is 48, the same count as that will create the division of day and night. But live change comes from, does it come lives, live, and life? Live, life, 2 different words that sound almost the same. Space and evil come together as 44. Evil, space. Not sure why these 2. Oh, right, because 48 will create numeric value 44. 4 times 8, 4 plus 8, 32 and 12 equaling to 44. And it's cold. And it's cold. The numeric value over here is cold, 14 and 20. Where do I get this? Well, I was looking over Black Lives Matter. And when I came to matter and I came to water, I noticed there was one T over here division, and there were two T's over here in the division. So I went ahead and just started off with WA number 24, which happens to be the house planet, the division of the house planet. I added on the 20 to 44 for meaning the meaning of space and day and night. I take that at the same time I did it with Mat. I had 14 with Ma, which is the birth in the sun, and I added on the T creates DC. So now I have TER, RETTER, which is 43, which is DC, and now it becomes hot and cold. So the whole situation in Black Lives Matter is talking about hot and cold, red and blue, and evil space. Liberty 55, the mathematics that come from here is the division of night and day, 1 and 6. And it just so happens that for me, it fits here right into Quebec. So when we have Quebec, what I did is I kept Q and U together, stand on 17Q, and get paid off as long as the dealer doesn't have blackjack on U21. F6 reverse. FU comes together. Somehow CK come together in itself. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That gives me the L letter, okay? Or it gives me a total of number 3. And we have the CK that comes together through this. Don't forget, it took 1 and 1 to create 2, right? And 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 is 1 and 2, right over here. The reverse of 1 is F6. The reverse of 2 is G7. The spirit is 76. There's 2 reverses, excuse me. Let me see, U. Okay, U, hold on a second. 6. Oh yeah, this is to the cube. This is to the cube. So anyways, I don't want to get into that. I worked on this little piece over here. I've always seen something to do with Quebec. I get Canada, we get 354 electric company in the sun. 4 and 3 electric company. 5 is entrapped, the energy of DC, hot and cold, blue and red. The next thing I was going to do is about shortcuts, but I'm only going to show it to you right now. What I'm going to be working on for something else, shortcuts. They use capital C and TRL together, so separate that. And then they use the big CTRL, so I'll use those for abbreviations. And this is what we can do on our keyboard. And then here's our keyboard. Okay. And obviously it tells us there's a window. And you see there's an angle on this window, right? You don't see the angle? Do you see the angle on this window? Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave that at that also. There's a lot of things going on that we can talk about. The queen has to run on angles. The queen and the king, one is a negative, one is a positive, black and red. Remember how we can move on here. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video.